Hello, my friends. Um, Nice to having you, first of all. And yeah, today we will talk a bit about life classes, different, which has different sections between each other and different backgrounds. Background, I mean, like about your specific income, the standard of your living quality. If you are living in a rural area or like a place which is more wealthy, which has more wealthy, especially. Um, I will point out a lot of aspects, a lot of main takeaways to make a differentiation, between each other to compare these aspects. And yeah, it can be a lot of it is a lot. It is essential, It is really crucial to know the gap or the discrepancy between each other, especially in terms of Switzerland, um, which I'm living right now. That's why, yeah, I will talk about Switzerland a bit, and we can also do some researches in the internet, and we can googling. We can download some specific informations like PDFs or like pictures as well, and yeah, let me dive into the topic and do some researches. Like, researches is a bit exaggerated, A research is like when you are doing or when you take an advantage of informations, like doing a deeply um, informations, make an how do we say that, an extensive research, and with different aspects. My research is like more superficially, um, yeah, that's why I think, yeah, we can Google it. I can take some informations about the platform, about many internet pages, um, which can show us, which we can across through different informations, different aspects and different notes, which can be really essential for us. That's why I think we can start with taking some informations, like, as I mentioned you, I will talk about some living classes. There is three kind of living classes, like, the first one is like the basement. It's like the low class, the lower class. Then comes to a middle class, is the next stage, and the top of the one of the top is the high class, which is like more than a middle class. I mean, in Switzerland, especially, to be a part of the middle class, for example, when we talk about it, um, um, you must have maybe an annual salary of between 50,000 and 100,000 francs. That's, I think, um, there is a huge gap, between each other. And if you are like single or individual, it's like another part, there is the amount of the salary much higher, it's between like 120 to 200,000 francs, in my opinion, for a couple with two childrens. There is just for a couple of two childrens between 100,000 and 200,000 francs, which you are belonging to the middle class. We are talking just based to the middle class, and and let's suppose we are talking about the working class, um, there is a working class in Switzerland, and Yeah. Um, in a research in the 2018, maybe it was, yeah, 8% of the population, or some 600,000 people in Switzerland were affected by income poverty, you know. And income poverty is like when you have not enough money. That's the basic description, you know. It's really hard to survive. You cannot even feed up your family. You cannot care about your kids, you know. And there is nothing which you can do in your leisure time. You don't have the opportunity to make an outdoor activity, even, you know. In Switzerland, it's yeah, frankly, I think it is, to be honest, really is boring in Switzerland, especially when you don't have an expected salary of maybe at least 100,000 francs, you know, a monthly salary. I mean, I'm speaking about the annual salary, which belongs to over maybe 100,000 francs, you know. Um, that's why I think it's terrible. It is awful, you know. It is not really nice. Um, to yeah to keep an overview about your financial statement, you know, it's really tough to make end of to make and meets at the end of the month, you know. That means like you don't have the chance, you don't have the option to survive till end of the month. Um, um, Despite your income, which is not really high, which is under the middle classes as well. Yeah, you just have to live economical, you know. Um, your variable level, it's really it's under your standard level, I think. If you are if you get a salary under 100,000 francs, you know. That's why I think the prosperity level, it's really important. And you just have to you just have to have a substantial fortune, like um, your financial statements should be good enough to live in a good prosperity level in Switzerland, especially, you know. That was what I mean. And we can do some researches. Let's say, what is the social class structure in Switzerland? A social class structure is what I mentioned you before. Um, there is like you know, in Switzerland is middle class, according to the author of the country's first guide to etiquette, you know, to label means like. Nevertheless, division exists primarily between a flashier, outward looking global class and the rest. It's really hard for me to understand those words, even for me. Um, I don't know what is the difference. But the average salary in Switzerland is around 6,500 gross per month. However, this figure can vary significantly depending on the industry. You know, um, it is depending on the industry, region, and your skill level or your educational background. You know, um, yeah, I think there is a huge gap between each other, and there was like some words which was really interesting. I don't know anymore how we can say that. Let me search it before we talk about it. um, I can't find it, doesn't matter. um, yeah. Wait, please, I will search. out those terms, you know. There are some specific terms which is really crucial to know. I think it is really informative. It is really beneficial when you have the opportunity um, to take some advantage. You know how to use that in different ways when you speak about it, and hmm. Hmm, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think. Um, Yeah. I mentioned you when we go back. The average salary is 6,500 gross per month. The minimum wage, you know, to earn to survive. I mean, and the low salary or a low income is like between 2,800 and 4,000 francs. You know, um, and the poverty line is derived from the guidelines of the Conference for Social Welfare. In 2022, I think it was on average between, yeah, as I mentioned before, 2008. I'm not quite sure about that. It's around 2,500 and 2,800 maybe, and 4,000 francs for two adults with two children, you know. Of this amount, the expenses for daily needs, food, hygiene, mobility, etc., you know, there's the poverty line, is derived from a guideline of the conference. That's why I think that's the poverty, you know. Poverty means like when you don't have a strong, how can I explain that? When you don't have enough economical independency, you know, which is beneficial and which you can learn a lot. That's why I think 102, 120Ks, it's a good salary in Switzerland, I would say, with a good background, educational background. And the average class in Switzerland um, is a range between 16 and 27 in the middle school. Um, that means like, um, we have a lot of children, a lot of kids, which we have to educate between 16 and 27. And yeah, when you are like graduating from the secondary school, um, I think that the least expectancy or like yeah, the expectancy that all students should be enough skilled, at least speaking for two languages. And that's why there are also some practical aspects of life, you know, such as cooking, like, or fill the taxes, you know, how you fill up your taxes, um, and etc. etc. I mean, um, but yeah, I think that we have the middle class, which is crucial, which is really important. And I was in the UK, you know, in Liverpool to take a language stay for at least 2 months. And in the UK, when people earning between 30,000 and 60,000 a year, depending on the type of the household, you know, people who would you expect to be doing okay, he said. Um, Being on a middle income doesn't make people secure, you know. In Switzerland, when you are being on a middle income, it makes you secure, you know. But in the US, in the UK, it's not the same. In the present cost of living crisis, it is like in the present, it is like a cost of living crisis. That's the vulnerabilities of people on modest income have become more apparent. It is. There are so many people which is struggling, despite incomes, you know, up to 60,000 a year, you know, and I think that's really sad to know, and uh, I think that, and there are also some working classes in Switzerland and in the UK as well. I mean, what defines you as a Swiss class, or no, not Swiss class? Sorry for that. I was a bit confused. Working class. A working class is belonging to a social group that consists of people who earns less than other groups. You know, often being paid only for the hours or days. You know, that they work, and that's why I think and maybe who usually do physical work rather than work for which you need an advanced education, you know. um, that's why I think the working class, they are suffering a lot, you know, the most. They are suffering the most, of the most. They are the group which struggling um, against, you know, the financial crisis. And when you include the inflation rate since last year, which raised a lot, you know, there is um, I think that there is a huge discrepancy, um, which you cannot imagine, you know. That's why I think it is not sufficient. It is not enough to be a working class, to be a member of the working class, um, in terms of feeding your family or take care of yourself, you know. Even feed yourself, I think it's problematic. It is complicated, and yeah, and essential to know what I mean between those classes, which is or the root, you know, um, of the classes. What I mean, and yeah, I think we should be more considerate about our lifestyle, our expenses. You know, you should not give out a lot of. You should not have um, too many expenses when you are like a member of the working class. You should find a balance, you know, um, and you cannot go out to a dinner several days a month or a week. You know, you just have one option, one opportunity to go out and take a dinner, maybe once a month. You know, which is really sad, I think, and yeah, besides to them, you know, besides to them, um, I think there are some mindful people, or like you have maybe mindful family which you can support, which we can like help to each other. But nowadays, it's not possible, you know. In brief, what I want to say in short time is um, that the life is going to be harder and harder, you know, especially when you are doing like some um, sports or like hobbies for yourself, you know. There is no huge gap which you can find um, as a member of the working class. um, I think that's why that's my opinion about this topic, or like objective. um, I think we should be more educated, you know. You should study more, you should more convey your knowledge, your ability to people which is needed maybe, or which you can affect, influence them, which you can force them to educate, to make a further education. At least, you know, it's essential nowadays. That's why um, it's remarkable, I will say, at least. And therefore, I hope you can find a way to survive um, in your country, because in Switzerland, you know, if you are an employee, you know, jobless, you have like an employee office, you know, which can help you, which can support you for 2 years based on your average level, which you had, but you taken it from the last 2 years. I mean, um, that therefore I will say Switzerland is a safe country, but I know that other countries has not the same opportunity in other countries, which you should like be more creative. You know, we should maybe execute 2 jobs at least to survive in your country, especially if you have kids and a wife to feed. Um, that's why I want to talk about it today, about this topic, which is really crucial, um, which can maybe gain more in the name, you know, in the aspect. Um, that's why I think it is vital to know the differences, to find a way to earn more money, um, which you can like earn from stocks if you have enough money to give out. You know, I know that more or the most of you don't have the chances to invest in stocks, in exchanges. You know, um, that's why I think you should be more creative. I hope this video was informative. How do we say that? Informative enough, you know, um, or educated you in different ways, you know. Um, and yeah, I hope I can create another video for tomorrow. I should maybe prepare myself. I know that, to be honest. But I think I'm really spontaneous, you know. I want to make some researches. I want to learn more about different aspects randomly. And that's why I think it's really nice to have a random conversation, to practice my English skills as well, to spread my ability in a different way. And I think um, it is much better, and it is better to make an extensive research, or it's a large scale, you know. For me, it's a large opportunity, and which I can do, or take some new words which I can use in the random speech, you know, um, which I have created for you right now. And yeah, if you like my videos, if you like my channel, please leave me a thumbs up or subscribe my channel as well. But that's not my purpose. I created my channel purposeless, you know, and there is no logical background behind my YouTube channel, you know. Um, it is yeah, I think it is not how do we say that, to be honest. Um it is illogical, you know. Um it has not it doesn't have any specific sense behind my channel. It's just for learning purpose. It's just to practice my English and spread a bit my vocabulary, you know, which I should extend a lot, widespread. That's why I have created, why I want to upload some videos, um, random speeches, you know, about different topics. Um, yeah, and take care of you. Have a nice evening. If we have the same time zone, you know, the time the time scale. And yeah, I hope we can meet each other again in another day, in another time, with another topic, which is more informative for you, which you can take more advantage from those videos which I created for you randomly. And um, yeah, that will be my newly added video right now, um, which is crucial for me. And yeah, take care. Have a nice day, have a nice evening or a morning, whatever you have right now for a time scale. And yeah, see you again. Bye bye.